You ever notice when you go to your primary care doctor or whatever, they always want to give you this flu shot situation. I've never really been a fan. I have a master's degree in immunology and I am not anti-vaccine. But I have to admit, the flu season is always so variable. The vaccine they come up with doesn't always hit the mark. Do I really need to take a vaccine for something that in my age group and health risk is really unlikely to kill me? Do I need to poison myself to try to have a 50% chance of protecting myself against this infection? I mean, my answer is typically no. I don't have much option, as an employee of a hospital or someone who has privileges in hospitals. They kind of make you take a flu shot, and I always complied. I It always made me sick after I took the flu shot. I was always convinced the flu shot gave me some form of flu because I've never taken that shot, not felt ill afterwards. This is why nobody trusts their doctors anymore. And I am a doctor. I didn't know this information. The researchers who tracked national data on influenza vaccine rates and mortality in elderly people. I mean, elderly people are going to be people over the age of 65, depending on who you're talking about. Some people say over 50. I am 56. I don't feel elderly. I know the hotness days are waning. I don't feel elderly. But anyway, they track the data, survivability of the elderly population from 1968, that's the year that I was born, until 2001. And there was zero evidence that a flu vaccine helped these elderly patients. And these are the patients we think traditionally are at risk of getting pneumonia at a disproportional rate and dying unnecessarily. And what that finding is that the mortality rate of elderly people did not budge one way or another, regardless of this flu shot. They could find no evidence that increasing flu vaccination coverage lowered mortality rates, basically. And they concluded that the number of flu-related deaths in the elderly was never more than 10% of all winter deaths. In other words, flu immunization really could only have a very small effect anyway. So we conclude this is in 2005. This is 20 years ago. We have known this. There's not enough influenza-related deaths to support the conclusion that vaccination can reduce total winter mortality among the elderly population. So if we know this as a population, why the hell are we still continuing to promote just carte blanche, everyone needs this vaccine? I am certain that frail elderly people really are at risk for pneumonia from influenza. That's who we should be giving this vaccine to. Every healthcare worker pretty much is assaulted without their permission with this vaccine. Now, in the last 3 years, I've refused to take it because when I got a flu shot, followed in 1 week period of time with a COVID vaccine, I had a complete collapse of my immune system, got an autoimmune disease. I was crippled, almost lost my practice. I will never take one of those two injections ever again. I don't know which one did it. Was it the flu shot that always makes me sick? Or was it this experimental COVID vaccine? I don't know. But now I'm wondering, I know I didn't need to take the COVID shot because even by the time I took it, they said it didn't prevent people from getting sick and it didn't prevent the spread of disease. There was no reason for me to take it other than authoritarianism. Now, as it turns out, maybe the flu shot, if you're young, if you're healthy, if you're not at a high risk for getting ill, ask yourself informed consent. What are the risks? What are the benefits? Do not let people lie to you. Make sure they show you the data. That's all I'm saying. Have some informed consent. And even as a physician, I didn't know this data right there. I've always argued against this damn vaccine. Oh, I wish I had it. I could have defended myself a little bit better.